I think what's exciting about circular economy models is that they tackle a number of problems at once. But what we're really excited about in our research is the potential for circular economy to contribute to new models of sustainable and inclusive industrial development in the developing world. I think it's important to bear in mind that our forward projections of how much we're going to be using in the future are open to question. But I think it's probably very likely that we are going to need very large volumes of materials for certain types of activities as we go into the future. And our best guess at the moment for how much, just to give one example, how much material might be required in the built environment is that between now and 2060, the built environment that will need to be added to the world each year is the equivalent to what Japan has today, the floor space of Japan. Most of that, of course, will be found in emerging economies or the next wave of emerging economies, which are today's poorer developing countries. We absolutely can't continue to consume in the way that we do, and that means shifting the model to something else. The exciting thing about the circular economy is it provides a positive opportunity to get out of that bind. Sometimes when we talked about circular economy in the past, we have focused on the environmental and health benefits associated with these shifting practices. And those are very important, and they can be motivating factors in the developing world as well. But what we're hearing from ministries of industry, of senior officers, of presidents, of prime ministers, is that they want to understand how the circular economy is connected to the ambitions they have for their population to move up the development ladder. And that's where the circular economy might be exciting. And one thing that we talk about in our report is whether it provides a set of growth opportunities which are perhaps attractive in a world where a lot of traditional industrialisation opportunities are being eroded by automation and new technological advances. And what we're calling for is greater dialogue between the European Union, which means at European Union level, and the European Commission, but also among the member states, to make sure that deeper dialogues are established with developing countries to manage any potential problems, invest in the support which might be required for the transition, and really importantly, capitalise on the local benefits that could be generated by employing the circular economy within national development strategies. I would argue that that's a window of opportunity, particularly in Africa, that can be led by the European Commission. But it probably can't just be a dialogue that the European Commission has alone. It would also need to involve partner countries. And I think in particular the role of countries like China, India and Brazil, whether it's in Africa or other developing countries around the world, as well as the domestic experience and development models of those countries and how the information that can provide with regards transitioning to the circular economy, means that probably this is a job for combinations of countries to bring their respective experiences, investment, technological expertise and so on. But I do think that the European Union, coming from such a strong base in terms of policy development, the skills it has and knowledge it has and the potential for exporting some of that advice to developing countries, puts it in a really strong place to be at the forefront of that partnership building. I think that there is a danger if we don't talk more about the possibility of an open, inclusive approach to the circular economy at the international level, that we will start to see tensions, whether they're around trade or around the potential of policies in one country to reverberate on and affect other countries' economies or job and other impacts. So I think there's a really important job to do in terms of building dialogues at the international level, whether that's at the G7 or G20 or in other platforms that may be available. At the national level, there are political dynamics too, of course, and this applies not just in developing countries but also in the developed world. Existing sectors which benefit from the status quo may not be encouraging with regards to a more ambitious circular economy strategy. On the other hand, certainly some businesses will be, and certain sections of society will be. So navigating this political economy challenge of the circular economy is something that we are focused on a lot at Chatham House.